once again to the Home Economics Show where we create the standard. To our new subscribers, thank you and welcome to the channel. To our old subscribers, we are happy and pleased to come your way with another episode. In our last episode, we looked at family, the types of family, its advantages and disadvantages. Today, we'll be looking at the stages that families go through. Remember we shared an episode on dating. Yes, if you are new and you haven't check that video on dating as in our history. And so let's take it that you are a couple, right? You've gone through the steady dating, and so he has popped the question, will you marry me? Or you guys are really thinking about getting married. Or you are in your courtship stage where you are fiancés and you are figuring out what are the stages, what does the future look like? And so we'll help you with that today. Now, once you get married, okay, you guys come together and get married, you start your nuclear family. Husband and wife, with or without children. That's the first stage. Now, the moment you get married, we have what we call the beginning stage of family. At that stage, you are the beginning stage. And usually at the beginning stage, things that characterizes that stage include adjustment. That is the first stage. You are adjusting to each other. You are coming from different backgrounds, different values. You have different perceptions and understanding. Of course, you might have courted, you might have dated for 5 years, 6 years, but trust me, the moment you guys get married, things change. And so you begin the adjustment period. Now, that period can last between 6 to 1 year, depending on how fast the two of you are able to adjust to each other and make your family work. Now, during the beginning stage, some of the things that crop up aside adjustment includes like accommodation. Where are you guys going to live? Do you rent a single room? Do you rent a 2-bedroom, self-contained? Which area do you work? Okay, you have conversations around family, number of kids you want to have if you haven't had that conversation when you were dating or when you were in your courtship. You have conversation about how will the kids coming in affect career, affect school. Probably you've done your first degree, you want to do your second degree. It is usually around this beginning stage of the family life cycle that you have these conversations. And so these are the things that you need to look out for. And so if you haven't had these conversations with your would-be spouse, yes, I think it's about time you have those conversations. Else, they will definitely crop up when you guys settle down. Now, after the beginning stage, you go through the expanding stage. And usually the expanding stage begins when the first child arrives in the family. And remember, we said that family, you can be related by marriage, blood, or through adoption. And so when I say the first child, I am not necessarily talking about your biological children. Maybe your nephew comes to stay with you, or your niece comes to live with you, or you guys decide to adopt. But then if you have your first child too, yes, that is the expanding stage. You've moved from the beginning, now you're at the expanding stage. Let me quickly add that it's not all couples that start from the beginning stage. Sometimes some people get pregnant and have children before they get married, right? And so once they marry, they start straight away from the expanding stage. Now, at this stage, there are so many levels. One of them include the stages that your kids go through. So you've given birth, they start kindergarten or Montessori. Then they go through the primary stage, they go through the secondary stage, they go through the university or tertiary stage. All these stages put pressure on resources of the family. Time, money, space. Because as your family increase, you need to think about accommodation. If you were using a 2-door and it was just seats for 2, you have to look for another vehicle. You have to look at what time, who does what. Who takes care of the baby? At what time do you come home? How do you space out the kids so that you have enough resources to go around? All these things are things that come at the expanding stage. At that point, as you are learning as a couple of being parents, okay, hopefully next time we'll treat parenthood. As you're learning as a couple of performing your role as parents, you are also learning on how to guide your kids to discover who they are. Yes. And so, as much as you want the best for them, you need to also study and know the talents they are exhibiting so that you guide them to choose career paths that they like. And therefore, in line with that, when they get to the junior high and they're getting to the secondary school, decisions will have to be made about the type of school that they attend. Is it a technical school? Is it science related school? Or is it the humanities? All these things are things that happen to the family or the family goes through during the expanding stage. Now they are growing. Okay, it's fun having them around. They are in their teenage years. They are stubborn. They are curious. They make you happy one minute. They make you sad the next minute. But it gets to that point when they begin to leave home. And during this month, a lot of family will be experiencing the contracting stage a lot, especially if none of their kids left home and stayed home during their tertiary education. And I'm talking about the national service. Most people are going to leave home to go and pursue and carry out the national service. So some families are going to get through the stage, the contrasting stage. It begins when the first child leaves home. The moment the kids start leaving home, you are at the contracting stage. You are coming back. You are getting smaller. So at this stage, you have to think of how you are setting up your children. How are you supporting them to live life out there? Was there enough grounding during the beginning and the expanding stage to nurture them, to get them out there? At this stage, sometimes if you were in a 4-bedroom house, you don't necessarily have to continue living there because the kids are leaving. They're also going to start their life. So sometimes you have to look at coming into a smaller house and then renting out the bigger one. I'm sure a time will come in Ghana where we'll have that flexibility. But I know in other worlds, right, outside, that is where people will leave from their big home and go and rent a smaller house because their kids are leaving. And then they're able to make money off that big house. So it's always advisable, if you build a big house, always make sure you have that cute 2-bedroom somewhere waiting for you as a couple. Because your kids are definitely going to live and they will want to set up their own place. They could even travel, you might not know. Then the last but not the least stage is the emptiness stage. Yes. This is when one couple is just left with a couple, and then one leaves, and then the family dies when both couple are gone. At this stage, a lot goes into health, social life, because they are old. They want to be with their friends. And that is why you realize that every funeral, every wedding that will come up, your parents want to go. Please, they are at the emptiness stage. You people are having fun. They also want to have their fun. At that time, their social capital goes up. That is why it's key that when you start your family, you don't lose your social capital, because you need them at that retirement age. Usually, retirement is also around the emptiness stage. And so you are checking yourself. You have to now look at the type of food you are eating, taking care of yourself extra at that emptiness stage. And so, viewers, these are the stages that all of us will go through the moment you get married. But please note that it's not every family that will go through all these 4 stages. Okay, some couple might just decide to remain couples. They won't adopt, they won't have kids, and just be the two of them, and so they will always be at the beginning stage. Others too can jump, like I indicated earlier on, and just start from the expanding stage. And so don't be hard on yourself. Just go with the flow. But these tidbits have come your way to help you make the decisions that are good and right for you. Until we come your way again, yes, next week. It is bye-bye from the Home Economics team. But do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And share the channel, the Home Economics Show, where we create the standard.